Know the game, know the game, know the game. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can join the notification game and never miss an upload. What's up, players? It's IDOLWILD here, back with another scheme video. Before I get started today, I wanted to say prayers up for Jacksonville, man. It was tragic. Tragic what happened this weekend. You know, Madden and video games are a place that we come to escape and to have fun and meet new people and enjoy our time with our friends. And it's tragic that somebody can get that angry or have something going on in their lives that causes them to do something like that. The rest of this video is going to be about beating man coverage. Now, I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say that man coverage is going to become the meta later on in Madden where we get more affordable high man coverage corners. Right now, the high-end corners have like 88 to 90 man, which isn't the highest man possible, obviously, and also they're expensive. So the man isn't as good as it can be, or it isn't as good as it's gonna be in later on in the game. And even at that point, the players who have that adequate man coverage are expensive. But I think that man coverage is a lot more stickier this year. Press man specifically is very good. Like sometimes you throw corner routes or post routes, you think that your wide receiver is open because the DB is trailing, but really he's in the path of the ball. So when you throw that corner route or that post route, the DB is going to be able to turn around and pick the ball off, especially if somebody clicks on and make a play. And we'll be getting high man coverage corners with good speed and agility like Deion Sanders, Eric Allen, or whoever else they decide to put out there. It's going to become a real problem because unless you know you have the right routes or you know how to beat man coverage, then you're going to be in trouble. So I have 3 ways to beat man coverage today in this video. We're going to start off with number 3 pretty quickly, and that's by using crossing routes.
This week's viral video, Fat Kid Hustles Through Crosswalk. Here it is. Here's little Chubbo pulling up the rear. Oh, he's got to get moving now.
So the route we're going to focus on here is the route by DJ Moore. You see I highlighted DJ Moore here, and his route is a crossing route. And there's a couple reasons why these crossing routes are so effective against man coverage. One, the angle. They're going across the field and up the field. So if you have somebody faster, you're going to be able to leave them down the field. The DB won't be able to get in the way of the ball because you're not trying to throw the ball over their head where they can interact with it. You're going across the field. So if the separation is there, you should be able to throw the ball ahead of the DB to where he can't get it. And if you have a high-speed guy like Tyreek Hill or John Ross, the longer the route takes to develop and the better the angle, the more separation they're going to get because they're faster and they're going to leave them in the dust. 2, sometimes this route does not get bumped at all. So even though that DB is laying up right up against the wide receiver there, right up against DJ Moore, sometimes they won't even bump him. So he'll get a free release. The free release that happens sometime plus the angle of the route makes it deadly. And 3, if you look at the route closely, it breaks twice. You can see it breaks once where the DB is that's over DJ Moore, and it breaks again by the safety. So you have a great angle of the route. Sometimes you get a free release, and the route breaks twice. Now I'm going to move Olsen to streak to clear out that safety, and I'm going to put Funches on the drag just to get him out the way so you guys can really see what's going on with DJ Moore. There he gets bumped, but you see the separation. As long as you pass lead it up ahead of the wide receiver, there's no, like, I'm going to run this like 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to do anything different but the same thing. And you're going to see that DJ Moore gets open every single time. And that time he had crazy separation. I got cracked, but obviously you see that I think that's PJ Williams has no shot at covering this route. Even though he does get his bump, you pass lead up ahead, the separation is just too far. We got cracked for a fumble there. I'll run it one more time and then we're going to go over something else about these crossing routes because not all of them are made equal. Some routes are a lot shallower. You see there, he didn't get bumped. What the heck? What's going on? We playing volleyball in there? But you see DJ Moore had crazy separation against man coverage. Now you have to obviously choose your battles when it comes to man coverage or running these crossing routes because now I'm going to run a crossing route with Devin Funches. This crossing route looks very similar to the last one, but it performs a little bit different. So you obviously have to check your playbook. You don't just want to run blind crossing routes. This crossing route seems to go up the field a little bit more, so it doesn't seem to be at the same angle as the one before. And Devin Funches is not that good of a receiver anyway. He's not that fast, so the speed part of the separation won't be on this side. And Cam Newton throws a quacker, so we can't really tell what's really going on with that route. but it's not as it works to an extent, but it's not as effective. You won't see the crazy separation you saw from DJ Moore. He'll get some separation with the right pass lead if Cam Newton will ever get it together. Devin Funchess will be open, but it won't be as crazy as what we've seen before. I'll throw it one more time, then we'll move on. I don't want to be stuck on this ad all day. You see, it'll still get open. Not as crazy as the last one, but it still works. So let's move on to the number 2 way, and that's by using comeback routes.
with a triumphant comeback. But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my.
So the comeback route has been in Madden as long as I've been playing, but I don't see it used that much on online play. Maybe because it's a longer development route, so it takes time and people might get sacked. But it's pretty useful against man coverage. I'm going to use Torrey Smith here, or T. Smith, as the icon says. I'm going to use Torrey Smith as the receiver that I'm going to use for the comeback, because you can only use it on receivers lined up on the outside. And most of the time you have to audible to the comeback route. So I'm going to press triangle or Y to bring with the receiver icon, press square on T. Smith's name. And you see there at the bottom left it says L2 for comeback. You're going to press comeback. So you see how his route changed. Before his route was at Z route. Let's move Funchess out the way real quick. You see how his route was at Z route, triangle or Y, square for his icon, and then L2 for the comeback. And I'm going to move these guys out here on the outside. And once he breaks to the outside, once he turns around and breaks, he should be open. It's like a little hook / question mark route. We got no time in the pocket, but you see he got separation against Marshawn Lattimore, who is no slouch in coverage. So I'm going to set this up again. I might have to roll out the pocket this time just to get enough time. Yeah, we got to roll out. And you see you throw when he breaks and he should be open. I mean, Cam Newton's been messing up this entire video. He's made this video, Cam Newton has probably made this video like 5 minutes longer than it needs to be because of how many times I've had to rethrow the ball. But you see, that's Marshawn Lattimore who's guarding him, and he's getting crazy separation against him. But because just the simple way this route breaks, it's good against man. I'm going to throw it one more time. Hopefully I get enough time in the pocket. Kind of do. You throw it on break, and he's open right there. Marshawn Lattimore going to try to break it, but he's gotten open every single time we've run the route. I just couldn't throw it to him every single time. So we've got crossing routes and we got comeback routes. Let's move on to the number 1 way, at least in this video, that I like to use them, and that's by using motion slants.
Everything in the universe, including you and me, is in motion. Now, forces put things in motion.
So slants by themselves are pretty good against man coverage. I mean, everybody will tell you that. If you go on any kind of online forum, especially Reddit, trying to look for tips on how to be man coverage, slants and like posts are going to be the first thing people are going to tell you. And they're pretty good. Most of the time, you're going to be able to get a clean break from the cornerback, and you're going to be able to get a decent amount of separation. But sometimes, at least in this year's Madden, the DBs will play extra well, and they'll hug on to it. You see how Devin Funchess couldn't get that separation right there? Sometimes if the DB is good enough, you're going to get that type of animation where they're going to get pressed, and they'll be able to cover a slant if you have a good enough corner out there. So, I mean, it's not quite 50-50. You're going to get open more than that, but I would say it's like 75-25. 25% of the time, you're going to get in a situation where your slant is going to be smothered by this. Oh, there we go again. That's 50-50 right there, but we caught the ball, but you don't want to depend on animations like that. So how I improve slants is I will motion snap those slants, and when you motion them, that DB will not be able to get a press on Devin Funchess or whoever you're running the slap. You just simply motion them over, and you see the DB does not interact with them at all. Jesus, Cam, you're killing me, fam. But you see the separation there. Funchess does not get that bump animation, and that DB cannot like, he has to depend on his physical ability, his speed to get in there. And so you combine that with the other things, and the people who don't know how to motion, or I'm going to go through how to put them in a slant, right? Because I might have skipped over that part. Triangle or Y to pull up the menu. You see Devin Funchess there, a circle, you press his button icon, and right stick to the right is a slant. So again, triangle or Y, you select his icon, and then you press right stick right to pull out a slant. And then you hold circle, and you move the left stick to move around. So see, right now, this is just the regular play card menu, but if I hold circle, it'll pull the camera out, and you flick the left stick and you'll be able to move around. I'm still holding circle right now, and you'll be able to move around to different receivers. So if you move to this receiver, Devin Funches, now you're on him, and you press the D-pad to the right to motion him over. And so he's on his slant, and when you see how the slant changed. Once you cross the center, that direction will change. You don't have to worry about picking the right slant, but his slant will automatically change once he crosses the center. So you see here, right here, you see here, you don't have to do anything there. His slant will automatically change directions. But if you use that slant along with the other things that I've shown in this video, the comeback route and the crossing route, now you have yourself a full play that is just a man killer no matter where you go. So you got your clear out route, you have your crossing route, you have your comeback, and you have your slant. Now this is 3 routes that are all going to get open against man coverage. Your user can only help guard one of them, and then he still has to worry about the rest of your playbook. So now I got the crossing route, I have the crossing route, I have the slant, and the comeback. So now you got yourself a deadly man killer play. That's it for this video, man. If you like this video, if you learned something, if I helped you out, let me know by hitting that like button. It really helps the channel grow, helps this video get out on the YouTubes, and it really shows me that you guys appreciate what I'm doing, and it gives me motivation to do some other videos. But that'll be it for this video. If you like my content in general and you want more tips like this, hit that subscribe button, and when you do, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you guys around next time. Peace.